Some growing pains. Oh, hey everyone. Welcome to episode 51. I tuned in a little bit late there. I was debating on whether or not I want to talk today, but I figured I should give it a good shot. Yeah, we are here once again with some growing pains, as you saw back there. We're doing what we can. I do want to watch my Doctor Who, so I might get to that soonish. I've been busy today. Quite busy, so very busy. Yes. I guess I could say what I did today and yesterday. I guess I could say both. I'll start with yesterday because there's no uploads. I guess yesterday and the day before. But the day before, I was actually filming. I filmed an episode, or streamed, I guess. I streamed episode 50 on Thursday, and I was pretty tired by the end, so I just decided to upload it to the next day. I forgot that we were getting our carpet cleaned yesterday, so I didn't have an episode out. So I was just in limbo for an extra day, and I uploaded it today. So that's all good now. Yeah, it's quite good. So yesterday was kind of a day off. Well, I guess it was kind of a day off for the Farlands and stuff, and also homework because I couldn't really get my homework done yesterday. It was just thing after thing popping up yesterday, so I just decided to take the day off for all that stuff. And today was kind of my catch-up day. I got, I kind of dipped my toes in the homework this evening. That's going quite splendidly, but I'll probably return to that after I'm done this stream. I don't know if I'll stream. I mean, I could stream this right until I go to bed and do all the stuff tomorrow, and then have a shorter episode tomorrow. Who knows? I was doing a bunch of stuff with Doctor Who today because I slept in. I've had short sleeps over this past week, so I wanted to get some of that sleep back, and I slept in. And I was just watching a bunch of Doctor Who, albeit reconstructions mostly. Some included episodes that just weren't included, that were just kind of orphaned, as they call it, on the Wikipedia page for missing episodes. In case you guys can't tell, I'm on missing episodes for Doctor Who. Because there were a bunch of episodes that were basically junked, as the BBC coined it. They were junked. They were gotten rid of. Or not gotten rid of, but they were overwritten due to lack of space or conditions too. Some of them were just lost to conditions. And there were, luckily, the ones that survived came through finding them or them just being in archive still, random episodes. But there's still quite a handful of episodes that exist. The main kind of period is 1963 to 66. That's the beginning of the show, through to, I guess even through to 69. Because that would have been 6 seasons. The first 6 seasons all have missing episodes of some kind. I'm still on the first Doctor, so I'm about, there's an odd 44 episodes missing. So I mean, even more stories missing. Well, I guess not even more, but a handful more stories missing. But it's more towards the end of it, like seasons 3 and 4 that are missing. So yeah, I've just been perusing through the internets trying to find reconstructions of the missing episodes, which basically just uses stills and audio, and even some use segments that have been found of those episodes, like little few minute segments or even few second segments. So yeah, they've tried to make it as it was in the episode, which is pretty solid considering those episodes are considered lost. Like there's a lot, you can go on, you can pretty much watch the entire episode just with, you know, a lot less going on. There's just swapping images. But you do what you have to do, because otherwise no one will be able to see it anymore. So I think it's quite nice. Anywho, enough about Doctor Who. No pun intended. I guess I could talk about the series here. I am back on the grind, as you guys know, for the past few days. We're continuing today. I'm also I've been thinking about doing. I've been tossing around the idea today of doing a Journey to the Farlands kind of catch-up series. Or in that series, I start from spawn and I work my way to a change of pace, basically. That the episode where the coordinates started getting tracked more properly. So then you guys have a bit more of a complete archive, and it wouldn't be perfect because it's not going to be me talking about what's happening at the time. It wouldn't be complete. I guess like the talk, like the commentary portion of it would be a bit odd, but I don't know. And I guess some stuff around it would be a bit odd. I don't know. There's a lot of contingency stuff and consistency stuff that would be like errors. So I'd have to think about that more. And I also kind of just want to focus on the actual journey. Like as much as I'd want to show, like kind of walk through, quite literally walk through, so that 1.5 million block gap in the series. I'm just, I don't know, I'm a bit hesitant, is I guess the way I'm putting it. I'm a bit hesitant to rewalk that right now while I'm filming this, because that's just going to take away from this series, because that's also the time I'm in that world would be time I could be in this one. So I don't know, and that's also like 100 episodes. I've predicted it's about 100 episodes to catch up, which would put us at episode 151 or 155 or wherever it would land us. So that's a lot of blocks. I mean, that amount is never going to change, so I could do that later on when I have more time, when I'm a bit more confident in this series being finished, or in kind of the final crawl, or even at the end, I could do that. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll just remain the way it is, which chances are it may very well remain that way, this way. Kind of based off my stance on things, which I guess has been made clear. So yes, that's kind of the idea. But in reality, this series is gonna reign supreme. Like I'm not gonna be switching probably anytime soon to anything else. At least for like the main series, which it may take away from things. But I've kind of noticed that Journey to the Farlands is what gets all the attention anyway. Not a new craft, Fellowship. I mean, I guess those are the only other series I've done, and I guess series is in and of themselves. In and of Newcraft, there's multiple of Newcraft, but I've noticed that Journey to the Farlands gets generally better reception, probably because of the niche and the kind of idea of even old Minecraft as well. There's definitely a community for old Minecraft, and even Journey to the Farlands has an even smaller slice of that community. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I were to do more series, if I want viewership, I'd be locked within Minecraft. But to be honest, I'm not really dependent on viewership, so I can do whatever I want. And viewership is not really my first concern. It's more my enjoyment and what I think people would enjoy. And maybe that may translate well, or maybe it may translate poorly. I'm not too sure. But if there's one thing for sure, it's that this is working right now. I'm enjoying this. I'm not. Oh, I don't know. I grabbed that. Oh, I'm probably for crafting. Whatever. I won't worry about crafting right now. We still have spare beds. I guess one thing's for sure is that I'm kind of content with the way things are right now. As much as I'm like, new series, retracing Journey to the Farlands or whatever. And Subnautica and Universe Sim and all of that stuff that I've talked about over the many episodes before this. I don't know, I've thought it over. I'm not really. I don't think I'll do series too often other than this, unless people suggest it. It's kind of my. I didn't want to resync. Maybe I will. Maybe I shall resync those coords. Get ourselves back in gear. Now what's this for? Let's see. Let's see if I can predict how long it'll be till the next outpost. Probably months, because it took me. Oh, I don't have the exact time my diamond armor broke. I think in the series you can see, because my iron armor slowly starts to fade out over the episodes, and then my diamond armor starts to fade out. I remember using diamond still at the beginning of the series, and then it transitioned to iron. So I'd say ballpark estimate is probably 1 to 1.5 million blocks when the next outpost will be. I mean, ideally like something like 2 million, 2 maybe 3. But that seems like I'm pushing it, because I don't know if I want to be an iron tier that long. Because once I whittle through all these diamonds, I'm just gonna be iron tier again. And I guess it'll be until either I break, and I want to have a break. I feel like stopping again. I mean, I just stopped, so I've got my fix for a while. Outpost 1, that happened. Just base, just an odd, almost 10,000 blocks ago. Yeah, I guess what I really want from this series is to get more of an average going, like more of like 30,000 a day, but that's like 4 hours of walking a day, which I can't do. Because my pacing is a bit slower than usual. I don't even know, actually. I guess it did drop a little bit when I switched direction from going in a straight line to diagonal, because there's a bit more of obstacle going on. I mean, it's about the same level, but I think you are a bit slower diagonally, so it does add up. I noticed I was walking in the first few in-game days of the world, or I guess a few IRL days. I was walking like 1,500 to 2,500 blocks a day, or in-game day, so per 10 minutes of being in the world here. So it was about that much, 2,000. So even with like the higher 2,000s, it would push into over like an hour. It'd push quite hard. But I think now I average 1,000 to 1,500, which I guess if you compound that, I'm sure it's a lot worse overall. Because that's how many, I guess, increments of 10 minutes you'll be playing the world, realistically. So I don't know. I could continue in a straight line, but I did that for a while. I mean, like when I was like resyncing the chords completely at that point when there was a huge gap. And I noticed that walking in a straight line didn't really improve things. I was just lucky because of the amount of time I was walking. I don't have that amount of time to walk every day. Maybe in summer or over breaks I might, but in kind of the real situations here, my pacing is far different. It's a bit more unruly, which is what to expect and why I'm not overly keen on progress. I mean, I like to progress, but I don't know. Like I don't like being stationary too long, but I'm not gonna be trying to get a regiment of Farland or journey to the Farlands, like kind of a regiment thing going. Kind of an idea of a ballpark range of how much I wanted to go. So, yeah, I'm just winging it pretty much. My loose plans. Oh, nice water break. So yes. Dude, where am I at right now in Doctor Who? I guess I just think of stuff. When I don't get questions, I just think of them. They just, you know, materialize. I thought of a question, although I don't think anyone would ask this, but I'm sure, or my kind of starting point for this question would be asking where I am in Doctor Who, because I was talking about that earlier in the stream. And I'm just finishing Galaxy 4, which if any of you Doctor Who fans know, that's lost episodes. Except I think one of them exists, but 3 of them are lost. So I'm watching, like the reconstructions. I explained it earlier, but yeah, Galaxy 4, and then after that it'll be, I guess I already watched a Mission to the Unknown, so I'll watch the Myth Makers next. That's the next series, or serial, I guess it's called. Story. Since the last episode, I don't know if people are aware, but I have been doing Q&A segments, or not Q&A, I mean, like, technically it is, but it's more of me just addressing comments. And I have one since the last major episode, which was the last episode of Outpost 1. I got one comment on that video. It was about, actually, maybe I'll pull it up here so I can read it in like a quote and less like just loosely guided, like how I usually read. Old door sounds always hit me hard. It was one of them, which was, I mean, I find that quite relatable. It's the reason I added the mod that changes the door sound. I guess you can only really see that when I played around with doors and Farlands previously. Which, if you want to hear that, I guess you could just look it up too. But I did I did use doors at Outpost 1, which is not too long ago. Use them quite constantly. But I usually don't use doors when I'm out journeying like this. I tend to keep things open-ended. Let's see here. I'm not on the hunt for anything anymore. Spawners, I guess. I could use saddles, but I don't have them right now. So I guess I'll just be on the lookout for something along those lines. We definitely have a lot. The inventory has changed since pre-Outpost 1. So I kind of consider this to be a new section of the journey, much like when I did a change of pace, which also marked a difference. It was not quite as significant as this. That was just me starting to stream constantly on this world. If I play on this world, it's streamed. I don't play on this when I'm not streaming. Except like those odd cases like episode 40, what was it? 9? 48? It was one of the Outpost 1 videos. Things like link up. Because I filmed like a bit of it. I canned it because I got too caught up in conversation. Someone. And I had to reshoot that episode, but I, couldn't really unmine what I had mined, so I just continued as if that didn't exist. But it does. There's like that like little section that exists. That's like the little nugget, but it doesn't really affect anything. It's just 15 minutes of mining that you miss out on, which I'm sure people care more about the 1.5 million that isn't shown in the journey. Well, rough 1.5 million. That's like ballpark estimate. Because I don't remember how much exactly I walked in between episodes 1 and 12, which those episodes were commentary only. Then after that is my transition to commentary and non-commentary. I forgot to change it from non-commentary to commentary. Well, no, I'll just get rid of it. I should just leave. I don't know. How do I add no commentary? Maybe I'll just do it after. I know it's kind of helpful to you guys watching live, but I mean, it might be. I'm not even too sure. That's my theory. Might be helpful, but oh, right. I have to get over there somehow. Yes, we will go here and see what we can get access to. Let's see here. That was a bit easier than I had thought. I thought I might have had to track a bit more. Anyhow, it's crazy to believe I've already done Outpost 1. I thought it would be a bit further. I mean, I'd always kind of thought it was quite far away. Like that thing where it's like, oh, it was so far away, but it was actually quite a lot closer than I had thought. It probably would have been further away, but I also got suggestions about that. Humor these suggestions of starting a base. So I decided, yes, I should start Outpost 1. I'm in need of diamonds. So technically I could have gone longer before Outpost 1, and I may go longer until I reach Outpost 2, because I want to get some progress. If I just don't take damage, then I'll be fine. I can just go right to the Farlands. But, that's not likely. I take damage accidentally all the time. Took it today with that creeper. That's a kind of idea. I guess even today I was debating refilming the intro. I didn't talk for a bit, but I'm not too bothered by it. I'm sure it's no big deal. I have all sorts of technical errors anyway. Let's continue our pursuits. Still got the boat technique, even if I am already succumbing to creepers. Which, I mean, I guess I did that before, so there's not really much growing pains going on. Because that's pretty much what I was like before. Oh. Gosh, I think the last spawner I found was right by the outpost. Was an odd few hundred blocks away from Outpost 1, because I remember finding that while I was looking for Outpost 1. That's live as well. Everything is live. You want to see me mine diamonds for countless hours? You can watch that. You want to see me build and struggle to figure out what I want to do for a few hours? You can watch that. And also, the elephant in the room of me walking the distance to the Farlands? Yeah, you can watch that. I'm like selling the series to people who already know what it is, or I guess if you're new to the series, then I guess you go. But I feel like most people tuning in are already gone by now, or if, you know, the lucky few who are still around. Do you get a prize? I don't know. No, that's kind of false hope. But you get to experience the journey alongside me, maybe. Everyone has their contributions. Due to this being a series that has been, you know, taped, record, even though it has been streamed almost in entirety since a change of pace. You just get to you get to see, if you literally want to, you can see everything since then. And if I decide to do, if I decide to film blocks 0 to 1.5 million in the future, then you'll get to watch that too. And then all these episode titles would get displaced, or I just make an entirely new playlist. I haven't quite decided yet, because it would kind of ruin saying the episode title in the intro, like episode 30, episode 45, episode 51. Like, I don't know, that if it was like episode 153, then it would be like, yeah, episode 51, and we'll say, what the heck is he talking about? But I don't know. I don't know. I don't, it really matters. That's even if I decide to go back and refilm it, or not refilm it, film it for the first time. It was not filmed previously, but I have that covered in the archive here. But I am tossing and turning about that, so I'm not gonna act on it yet. Very green grass. I had an episode a long time ago. I think it was episode 2 even. Various green. Actually, during the stream it was called Various Greens. And I had referenced that in the episode title. In the episode itself. Then I started showing off quirks. I was like, should actually be quirks of beta, like the mini quirks of beta. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll rename it to that. I don't know. I don't know when my episode namings, where my naming scheme changed for episodes, because there was a point where I stopped naming the episodes after, or not after, but like before I streamed them. So like every stream up until a certain point, I had named it before, but I eventually did it based off what I said in the episode, or did, which makes more sense. I know Newcraft 3's streams are, man, the beginning of a new season. I definitely came up with that myself. Trial run. Walking to Oblivion. Be Gone, Jaggy Jitter. Yeah, that was before the stream. They Were Better was definitely before. Trying to pinpoint when that was. The Grand Voyage. I definitely named it that before. 2 months. Like that also was. Burning the Midnight Oil. Oh, I don't know if that one, episode 6, I don't know if that one was named before or after I streamed it. Tail. End of the line. I don't remember. There was a point. I think it was episode 8 actually that I'd start naming it after because yeah, full circle. Because I wouldn't have named it like that before the episode because that was really tailored to the episode. Because in the actual episode, full circle, it's a full circle moment. Because why is it called full circle? Yeah, I do like a full circle thing where I went back to one of my previous beds and I didn't even realize it. And I thought I had encountered like a chunk glitch or something, but alas, it was just me being out and losing my way, and then going back to a previous bed. I just had the compass in my inventory, or I just wasn't really paying attention. Oh right, I had the texture pack, that's why. And I didn't have the HD fix thing or whatever, so I don't remember. There's something that the compasses weren't working. So I just didn't bother using it. That was like the episode I used the texture pack. And I took my, what background was it? Was it my Twitch background? Twitch or YouTube? It was one of the two. I don't remember if they're the same or not. So it was one of those. I took one of those screenshots in that episode. But yeah, I was like, oh, what was this? And I encountered my previous bed, which was quite funny. Oh, right. So let's see what else we got here. Burn, baby, burn. And that was kind of a double on. Maybe this episode will just be me explaining episode titles. Would that ruin the magic? Nah, whatever. Gives me something to talk about. Burn Baby Burn. I mean, I'm sure many of you know that's a musical reference. I've made a few of those, a handful of them, and that's also a reference to Burn Baby Burn, like burning in the Nether. We were in the Nether and things were all fiery and all that. You know the Nether, I'm sure. If you know, if you've gotten this far in this channel or found this, I'm sure you know what the Nether is if you know what Minecraft is. Unless you don't know what Minecraft is and you're just here after being recommended this out of the blue, who knows? But yeah. The next one, Deja. No, I'll just go through Journey of the Farlands. All over the place. That was just, I don't exactly remember what happened in that episode, but I was just talking about stuff and I was just all over the place talking about things. Other than I'm always like that though. Indubitably ill. Oh, that was the episode I was ill for. I think I had walked a bunch while I was ill. Like I'd done a lot of walking. I mean, this was still before I had done a change of pace. So indubitably it was when I was like sick. I was like, ugh. I was like a zombie, kind of. Well, not exactly, but I definitely sounded a bit different. Caught a nasty cold. I think I caught that again later on in as well. Did I? Oh, I might have. Or maybe that was that time I'm thinking of. It's earlier than that. I got sick before. I got sick twice. Fall. Yeah, that's quite. I mean, you'll notice I like alliteration. I like the use of alliteration sometimes if I think of it. Marching on. I think that was just we're marching on. You know, that was just like pressing on, kind of keeping going forward. Most of these are pretty damn straightforward. I guess I could go through some of the more layered ones. Change of pace. That was after Fig suggested I start recording things. So technically, it's not really a change of pace because I was going that pace the whole time. But for you guys, it's a change of pace. From episode 14 onward was, or I guess 13 onward. I did monotony because I didn't know what to name it. So I just named it monotony. You know, I've been doing this for so long. Christmas Miracle was when it snowed at the end of the episode. I thought that was funny. I thought that was clever. It had snowed at the end, and I was like, yes, it's a Christmas miracle when I did my commentary portion of that episode. Testing the waters was pretty much trial and error of me testing different mods and stuff, because yes, even that gets included, because when I test mods, I have to include it. Well, I mean, it was journeying for the most part, but there was some of that going on. Which one was it again? Next one. Oh, episode 17 is just untitled. I still haven't come up with the title for that episode, so if anyone has any suggestions for episode titles, just completely random, doesn't have to be any. I might even watch that episode and see if I can get any ideas from it. Might rewatch it and see if I can get any ideas. I don't think much really happened in that episode. Tickled Pink, that one's a good one. It was literally just where I found a pink sheep. I think that was probably the last time I found one on camera. At least that I've noticed. And I'd used the wool to make a bed, as seen in the thumbnail. Quite straightforward. Well, episode 19's also got no name whatsoever. Although now, when I don't have a name idea, I can come up with something pretty creative, even if the stream doesn't really have anything that nods to that. Gotta get creative. History of Newcraft. Wow. That was a video where I just explained the entire history that led up to Newcraft and of Newcraft up to Season 1 Part 2. Which is, I guess that's the most recent iteration of Newcraft, which is a rebirth of Season 1. I mean, you can watch that episode if you want to know more about Newcraft. I think I've explained it in another episode, but you know, I guess if you really want to know, just watch Newcraft. And you'll get a bit of a rough idea. There's a lot of missing stuff for Newcraft, but I also didn't have been streaming Newcraft for a long time. And I've been playing it still. But for the most part, it's been the same. I've been doing the dirt stuff, and I'm gonna be getting Brody to help me, so I might stream some of that. Although chances are I probably will just get Brody to help me, and I'll show you guys work in progress stuff. That's more my highlights thing, because Newcraft is less of an actual series and more of just something I like to show you guys every once in a while. I know you guys, like based off during the Farlands, I seem like the person who stream everything, but I don't. Then there'd be no commentary Newcraft episodes, and it'd just be nonsense. Yeah, it would be time lapses or just off-camera work for people who actually edit and make good quality videos. But for me, it's just snippets, like multi-hour long snippets. So I gotta do what I can. Usually that works well with lore, because the lore that we do for Newcraft is good for that. It's quite concentrated in certain periods of time, and generally less happens all the time, and more happens in little spitfires every once in a while. So yeah, that's kind of Newcraft. I just went on a mini tangent, but yeah. Pitfall Trap was when I was breaking a bunch of sand and I fell into a spawner. It was kind of buried a little bit, and I sunk it. I fell into it. But I didn't fall into it. I placed a block and did some block updates, and all the sand came crashing down. That was quite a time for a no commentary episode. Many a pause was what that episode. I pressed, I went to the escape menu and I restarted the game a few times. A lot of pausing going, which is quite funny. Quite entertaining, if I do say so myself. Well, not entertaining, but I don't know. Anywho, yeah, that's that episode. I mean, ideally I would want no commentary episodes, but I also stream this so regularly that I can't talk every episode. I don't have chat. I only have chatters every odd stream, so I mainly just work off what I can conjure up. I think I even said in the last episode that I'd take a break from commentary episodes, but I'm just gonna go with how I feel because I felt it's like talking today. I wanted to talk about some stuff. I didn't think I'd be able to fill up a whole episode, but here I am. So what else do we got? Quid pro quo. I think I just said that randomly in the outro. I don't think there's anything really else tied to that. It was just I just used it in such an odd manner. Episode 24 lacks any title. Some of them just don't have titles. The long and short was when I had a chatter. But that was already 26 episodes ago. Gosh. Wait, or I guess I can't consider episodes days because I do take days off, so yeah, that was even longer than 26 days ago. That was like a month ago. Holy moly. And that was, yeah, I did that episode, and I was explaining the series to someone who kind of joined in the Twitch, and I was just given the long and short of things. There you go. Wait. Let me see here. Long and short, okay. 27, 26, 25. Okay. This is episode 26. Falling Cow Syndrome. I thought that episode was quite funny. I named that episode after a cow that just fell abruptly mid-episode. Nothing else happened in that episode. I did, the usual outro for the no commentary episode. And there was just a cow that fell mid-episode. It was just so odd. The episode just got named after that. And I just said falling cow syndrome for no reason whatsoever because it had nothing to do with the syndrome or anything. Just falling cows. Yeah, that's quite entertaining. We Be Moving. That episode was actually named by Brobicus. He's my cousin, so he was staying over. He was visiting, or not visiting. He had some health stuff, so he was we were hanging out that evening, and he had I did an episode and I didn't know what to call it because it was pretty damn basic, as most no commentary episodes are. And so I got his help, and I decided, you know what? Why don't you name this episode? And he said, "We Be Moving." So I named it that. So that's why that's kind of the black sheep, or one of the black sheeps of the family for during the Farlands. Some of the episodes some of the titles just, I guess, don't really fit in like the rest. Oh, I need to grab cobblestone, don't I? Gosh, I'm getting back into the groove is time consuming. I don't even know. I have so much room for so much stuff. I can just flood my inventory with boats and chests and boats. Chests. Jeezums. Let's make some boats. Casually boatorama. But yeah, we burn through our stuff pretty quickly. It's much. Yeah, I'm not too sure what's better. If I like having less stuff but more crafting sessions, or more stuff and less crafting sessions. I mean, more stuff and less crafting sessions sounds ideal. But again, it also is has its setbacks, like me having to gather materials quickly. Or sporadically, I guess. Alright. Let's see, Le Petit episode. That would be named after my favorite song, La Petite Lady. Is there any reason why that's my favorite song? I just discovered it in one of my YouTube playlists. That was before I was even into foreign 80s music. I was into just 80s music at the time. And I just found it lying around at the bottom of one of my playlists, and I loved it. Oh, is that? I'm trying to tell if that's cobblestone down there. I can't see if it's cobblestone down here. It's just gravel. Yeah, that's named after my favorite song. There's a few episodes like that. Or like, well, not my, I guess, no, there's not a few after my favorite songs, but there's definitely a few like that. That's another musical reference to a bit more of a niche song. I mean, it's a French song from the 80s. I'm usually after, if I like songs, it's usually has to do with the actual, um, the music behind it, and less the vocals. I mean, vocals definitely add to it. But I've noticed that I can enjoy foreign music just the same as I enjoy music of the kind of more English, not more English, but kind of English based or mainstream stuff. So I kind of delved into that, and I found a bunch of good songs, that kind. So yeah, that's kind of part of what I've enjoyed for music. Potential megasode soon. That was pretty straightforward. But I've had a few like that, hinting at things in the future. So yeah, that one's pretty straightforward. I was just saying maybe there'll be a megasode coming up soon. That was me just hyping up the megasode the whole episode, probably. I don't know. I don't remember all the little details. Let me see. What's the next one? The megasode, of course. Of course. How could I forget? Why might I have an extra slot? Anyhow. Oh, I tried being creative by doing some parkour, and look how that went. Version long. That's just French for long version. A lot of the songs I listen to, a lot of those French foreign 80s songs have version long in them, or maxi long, or whatever. I may do an even longer one in the future and call it maxi long, just for the hits and shiggles. Most of it for me is just inside jokes, but with myself. So they don't make sense to people who are like, "Why is this random episode called something like this?" It's just me having fun. I think that's all I can do. Just try to make the best of things. The herbs and spices, that was the second part of the megasode, and that's when I decided that megasodes will have different names for each episode, but they won't have numbered things. I'm not sure why I decided on that, but it's just now a thing. So yeah, I'm just gonna use the megasode card when I want to do a bunch of episodes, but I don't want them to be numbered, I guess. But the herbs and spices was just what appeared on the main menu at the start of that episode, because for the longest time that had remained as a 3-parter, and it was all the same name. So when I decided to change it, with the Outpost 1 megasode I did, like the one leading up to Outpost 1, I decided that, yeah, I want to have each episode be named differently. I just was scrambling to come up with names, so I did. And the last episode of the megasode, or the first one I did, was Safe Measures, which I think was relating to something I had said, maybe. Safe Measures. Yeah, I don't exactly remember. I'd usually done it off something I'd said or done during the episode, so I'm not too sure. If it was recent, I'm not too sure. Something to do with me being safe. I don't know. That one's a bit more. I'm not really that good of an understanding of what happened, or like what I named. 10.772550 million blocks to go. I guess it was 10 million. You know, it was that number. But that many blocks to go. That was at that point. I think it was the end of the episode. From the end of the episode to Farlands, and we're still about the same as that. Well, what was the description? Because I can usually see based off the description. 1.7 million. Well, that was 300,000 blocks ago. Or 21 episodes. So we travel a few 100,000 blocks per 20 episodes or so. Which is about on par with my progress in general. What about the next one? Episode 31 has no title. I don't. Yeah, there's a few like that, and most of the ones won't get names unless I just come up with something out of left field, which can happen. Or I also ask other people to come up with titles. I think that's fun, letting other people title them. I mean, in the future I'll consider letting the viewer actually name episodes, but I don't have much of a viewer or fan base right now, or viewer base, so I can't really be asking those kind of things until I get people who would be able to comment during the episode. But if any of you want to name an episode, then let me know. Any of you who've made it this far. If any of you want to name an episode, then feel free to let me know. If it's not too out there, I usually like out there, but if it's appropriate, then I'll consider it. Kind of level of, we'll see. Calm before the storm. So that was, I think I made that episode when I was planning on doing a lot of blocks, or at least. Oh, that was that December? Oh yeah, that was December. So yeah, at that point I was preparing for winter break, so I was like, calm before the storm. It's kind of double entendre again, where I'm talking about both the winter break being prosperous for the journey, and also winter. So yeah, there you go. Hits of Despair. That was literally just named because I'd seen a bunch of pits during the episode. That was it. Nothing special. I wasn't going through depression. I'm not. I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't worry. Yeah, that was just named like that because of that winter break incoming. That was indicating at winter break being imminent. Quite reasonable. This episode's just turned into me talking about this. Although I'm sure after I'm done this, I'm going to take a break and then come back with no commentary because I'm tired of talking. Throat doesn't talk anymore. I'm getting a bit of a dry throat. I've been drinking water a lot. Foray into shenaniganry. That episode had a lot of shenanigans. It was me doing achievement hunting, and I was like in a spawner crafting things and fishing. It was quite the episode. I think I even done something with a pig in that episode. That was probably the best well-received, or the most well-received episode. So, bravo. I'm not sure if that was what that was due to. I guess just compounds like the viewership. Righty. Beta in a nutshell. That was much like the many quirks of beta, where I had explored quirks again. I might do another video once I have like a whole bunch of them compiled, if I feel like showing them off to new viewers. I may very well do that. Oh, I guess I addressed the comment much earlier. I'll just, I scrap it being at the end of the episode. I'll just do it whenever I like it. So, you guys, if you want to look for a shout out, then you may have to look a little bit through the episode. Extended cut. That was an 8-hour long stream. That's about as long as I've gone thus far. Did I go above 8 hours? I don't think so. But that amount straight walking, that has its toll. But yeah, that's extended cut, just because, extended. Bit more than usual. Torrential downpour warning, that was a JoJo reference to an episode of JoJo. And it was also raining like a good chunk of the episode. That was when I was 1900 leagues away from Farlands. At least roughly. I didn't want to go exact, so I just made a rounding thing. A rounding thing. Oh, yeah. We're almost there. We're at episode 40. Only 10 more to go. Or I guess 11. But still be plenty of them done. Well, that was Christmas Eve. I made an episode called The Beginning, where I'd gone back to a backup of the world and showing you guys what Spawn looked like. So for those of you wanting to see Spawn, if you want to see it, see kind of what happened at the beginning, get a bit of a summary, then watch that episode, The Beginning, episode 41. But yeah, I guess we'll try and wrap it up within this 10 minutes here. Won't be too hard, so then I can go to no commentary and watch the end of Galaxy 4 and a bit of Mythmakers. Walking and chewing gum. That was, I think I had said walking and chewing gum at the same time. Or maybe, no, I was talking about this thing you can do. I remember now. It was when you can press the inventory button and walking forward at the same time. I'd done that during the episode. I can show you guys right now. It was, you have to press them at the same time. And look, you can walk well in your inventory. Can't do that anymore, of course, but it's quite funny. Can I do it with? Can I do it like? Yeah, you can do it. You can do it any direction. It's quite funny. Can you do it while jumping? Oh, we're going sideways. Oh no. Oh no, the journey has to continue like this now. Oh no. So let's see. It works for this too. Now we're just like a bunny rabbit. I'm not even pressing spacebar. Oh my god, guys, look. Gosh. Yeah, you can do that with any control. So I could be in the boat. I wonder if the boat works. If doing the boat. Let's see here. No, I don't think it works. No, that's too bad. Thought maybe I'd be able to automate the boat process. I'm joking. Don't need to worry about that. Yeah, that's enough about walking and chewing gum. That was kind of the reason why I'd called it that, because I was like multitasking with bugs. Silent Night was the Christmas special. Or no, wait, no. Oh, was it? Actually, yeah, it was, because I uploaded it later because I'd streamed it. Yeah, I remember now. Oh no, episode 41 wasn't posted on Christmas Eve. It was, I mean, it was, but it wasn't Christmas Eve video. It was just walking and chewing gum was Christmas Eve. Cake and Kamikaze was the episode I got let Devin name. There was a I had made a cake during that episode, and there were multiple creepers that blew me up. So I said Cake and Kamikaze. That's what Devin was like. Yeah, you should call it that. I'm like, okay. I had initially brought the idea up to Ben, and he was like, I don't know. So I brought it up to Devin because I was hanging out with Devin. So yeah, that's that episode. Let's see here. The hunt begins. Yes, now we're in the megasode, or the episode count for the remainder of the episodes for the Outpost 1 is the hunt for it. The hunt begins. That was just like the beginning of the hunt. 2 million block special, surpassing 2 million blocks. The tentative outpost was when I was at an area that I thought could be an outpost, which wasn't. I did move. I spun a wheel. The wheel decided for me, and it wanted me to continue going, and I think that was a good idea. So, yeah. The next one is called New Year, New Outpost, because it was actually the new year that I had done the outpost, like that episode. Fun. Episode, I think it was episode 46, actually. Might have been. Blaze of Glory. And that was named after a song. And I had seen a skeleton on fire, so I think that skeleton's going out in a blaze of glory. So I titled the episode that. That's most cases is like that. And I did one called Get Good Kit, where I was getting diamonds and materials for my dubbed Get Good Kit, which I had also brought up the idea of having them be called, what was it? Oh, I don't remember. I'd come up with such a good idea that episode after I came up with Get Good Kit. Farland. It was Farland Fund. That's what it was. But it sounds more like a charity name than me just adding stuff to chests. Diggy Diggy Hole. Mining episode through and through. Nothing else. I think there might have been some house building. I don't know. And before the end was the actual outpost christened name. I called it Land Before the End after a viewer suggested it. So there's some viewer influence there. And then the most recent episode is episode 50, which is The Journey Continues, which is what I've said so many times over these 50 episodes. I say that so often. I'm sure maybe taking a shot at Farlands, I say that way more. The Journey Continues. I say it like every episode, so it's quite funny. And then this episode, I have not named. I'm gonna come up with a name after I'm done here. But I'm gonna. I think is the sun good? I might just take a break now. I usually take it at nighttime. I know I'm breaking the rules, but I want to have a bite to eat and get myself all ready to go. So yeah, maybe we'll do that here, right here. Alrighty, I will see you guys in due course. Alrighty, folks, that's gonna end off another episode of Journey to the Farlands here. Hope you guys, hope whoever watched this enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next stream. I won't go too much further on the outro here.